Hey everybody, it's me again, and this will be my 10th episode of the Quest of a Narnia Fan. Now, first of all, if you hear any noises in the background, that's just my neighbor. He's mowing the yards, and I've also got a fan running. It's because it's very hot here in North Dakota. So yeah. So we've got some news on Narnia Web about the Silverchair film. As you guys already know, this past April 26th, it was announced that Joe Johnston has been chosen to direct the film, and he was allowing fans to submit questions to him, and he uploaded his video on YouTube, but unfortunately, it's been teared down, or removed, should I say? So the highlights of this movie is about the reboot, the adaptation, and the cast and locations. So now, the whole reboot idea, he said, everything is new, this is the beginning of a brand new trilogy. Now, this is what confuses me and some other fans as well, because this reboot thing has been around for a year, and a lot are thinking they're going to pretend that the other movies never happened. I don't think that's what it means. I think what Mark Gordon was saying is that it's going to feel new and different from the first three films. And now Joe Johnston is saying it's a trilogy? Trilogy means three things. And is he actually did saying that they're just going to do three movies and just leave one book out? And I listened to the podcast of it, and they're obviously saying that the book that will be left out, would be The Horse and His Boy. Because he's obviously going to do have a setup for what's going to happen with the Silverchair and leading up to what's going to happen in The Horse and His Boy, and then possibly, War Magician's Nephew and Last Battle. This is so confusing. Why would he call it a trilogy? Either he must have misunderstood, or he did literally mean it, because he obviously forgot one book. I don't know what to say about this one. Now, the adaptation, he said, I want this film to remain true to the essence of C.S. Lewis's work. He did say that he's been a fan of C.S. Lewis since he was a kid, and he also said that he's into Christianity. So I guess that's probably a good thing. So yeah, because the Narnia series are fantasy versions of the Bible, and I am also a Catholic, by the way. I've actually been baptized this past Easter Vigil. Now for the cast, he did say that Will Poulter is too old to play Eustace now, but beyond that, he said, I want this to set this apart from the other trilogy. Now I'll talk about that later. Now, the locations, he answered, probably New Zealand. Now that's obviously a very good idea, because they did that with the first two movies, and plus New Zealand has great landscapes. And he obviously did say that, for what the CGI thing, he said he's just going to film mostly about it in real life, not with a stage, and have like they did with the scene where Lucy was going through the snow and, discovering the lamppost, So he might obviously use some CGI to make a far distance, so I guess that's probably okay with me. So, as for the cast, he actually did mean that Will Poulter's not coming back, which I know there are a lot of fans who really wanted to see him back, but if you look at his most recent film, Detroit, you could tell that he doesn't look like a teenager anymore. And some people thought, no, he's not too old. They could just digital age him, and that would just be really weird. And look, I thought he did a really good job as Eustace, but he's 24 now, and I want them to find somebody else. And I know, Emmett and Lucy, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry that Will Poulter's not coming back. I know she thought Will Poulter did a really good job as well, but she was hoping that he would come back in Silverchair, but he's obviously definitely not. And he obviously definitely did mean that Liam Neeson, Peter Dinklage, Ben Barnes, Lara Brent, and Gary Sweet are also being recast as well, which is an absolute shame for me, because I thought that's also what I don't like about casting or continuing on with films. They keep changing actors. I know Harry Potter did that, but I'll talk more about that later. But I would be a little more excited if, say, Ben Barnes came back, for example. I don't know. Now, when he said new look, now that is something that makes me think for a while. I have been I did have a feeling that Cara Paravel would look totally different from the first movie, which I guess is okay because it's obviously in ruins. It could have been rebuilt to look differently. I mean, they did that with BBC, you know. So obviously with the new landscapes, I think he probably did mean that they're just mainly new places that we've never been to before. So if they add new places, that wouldn't bother me. And I'm also really hoping that they will get, like Owl Wood. Like you saw that on the Narnia map. It's got Owl Wood, and that's actually the place where Jill Eustace go to the land of the owls, and they tell the story of Prince Aurelian. I'm hoping they'll get that in the movie. And we'll obviously, get River Stribble, Ettinsmore, and then we get Underworld. You know, I mean, I know lots of new movies. When they continue franchises, they change things a little bit. Like Harry Potter. The last 6 movies. They got darker and darker. They changed Hogwarts a little bit. They gave Professor Flitwick a new look, and they gave Dumbledore a new look. They recast him as well, and but they still take place in the same universe because everybody is still saying that it's a reboot. I mean, others saying that it's not a reboot at all. I mean, he just said this is a brand new trilogy, but he also did say that he's going to do references from the other first 3 movies. So obviously, this is still a sequel to Dawn Treader. And plus, if you're calling it a reboot, like if you really are forming a new canon, a new continuity, and pretending that the other movies never happened, why on earth would you do that with Silver Chair? Because that doesn't make sense. If you were doing a reboot, you would start over with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or better yet, starting with Magician's Nephew. So obviously, they will obviously still take place in the same universe. They're not going to throw away the other movies, and I mean, obviously there will be new cast, but Silver Chair is still a proper sequel to Dawn Treader, no matter what. So obviously that's the main thing about this movie, and we obviously might get some couple news, and I think sometime this month. I could be wrong, but I think we may possibly get our release date announced. But we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. And I'm very upset that none of the original actors will be returning, and obviously, which is an absolute shame. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. I hope you guys have a great summer. Bye.